Garmin has been a company that I've watched from afar for a very long time. I'm a long-time user of Garmin. I have been wearing a Phoenix watch for years now. Definitely the best watch that I've ever owned, and that's including an Apple Watch. But this has always been a difficult place to invest because the market for Garmin's products is still just kind of a niche market. You don't want to pay too much for a company that's addressable market is going to be limited by the kind of products that they make. But one of the things that I'm intrigued by with Garmin today is that they've really seemed to found who they are as a company. They have fought off potentially the biggest disruption that they'll ever face and the biggest competition that they'll ever face from Apple. Any company that can maintain their market share and maintain their business when Apple comes after them directly, I think is a company that we should be taking much more seriously. And the interesting thing with Garmin is this is the device that is closer to me than any other device, closer to me than my iPhone, closer to me than glasses when I wear them, if you think about something like Meta's AI glasses. So as we have a bifurcation of technology, and maybe the smartphone has already peaked as the hub of our technology lives, and we have things like AI pins coming around, smart glasses, smart watches. Could Garmin be more than the company that it is today just by being the device that we are most connected to? I think it's an interesting place to be. May not be where Garmin is today, but where is this company going to be in 10 years? So I'm going to dig it through the recent numbers and how the company's products have changed, because I think that's the other telling thing is that we're starting to add some of the capabilities that could lead to Garmin being much more than the company that we know it is today. My name is Travis Hoium. Thanks for watching Asymmetric Investing. Please subscribe here on YouTube for all my content, and thanks to this video sponsor of The Motley Fool. If you go to fool.com/ASYM, they'll give you their top 10 stocks to buy right now. Let's go to the recent results because I think they're much more impressive than you might think. This is Garmin's first quarter 2024 earnings results, and you can see revenue growth 20%. That is one that really jumped out to me because Garmin is not a company that we typically think of as a high growth company. I'll pull up this chart here, but this is the long-term revenue and net income growth for Garmin. You can see that revenue growth, 6.4%. That's okay, but it's not what you would expect from a company that's currently trading for 30 times forward earnings. I'll come back to that, some of those valuation numbers in a little bit, but right now performance looks pretty good. The fitness segment up 40% year over year. These are the devices that I'm most familiar with as a user, and I think Garmin has made a ton of progress making these much more compelling for people, adding things like LTE, mapping services. There's just a lot more information that you can get from your Garmin device today than you could 5 or 10 years ago. But there are other important segments, outdoor, aviation, marine. These are segments where Garmin is really the go-to product. If you have a small airplane or if you have your own boat, you probably have some sort of Garmin device on them. Gross margin, incredibly impressive, 58.1%, and operating margin, 21.6%. So those are really good results for Garmin. Now, a couple of the things that Garmin talks about with particularly their fitness products, I think tell how much the company has changed over the last few years. So you can see they discuss here their Garmin Health Research Glimpse, which focuses on sleep research. This is actually one of the things that I use my Garmin device for that I didn't really anticipate when I got it. You could get a lot of information about how much you're sleeping, how much your deep sleep is. Do you need more sleep? And then there's the Garmin Health Software Development Kit and the Garmin Connect Developer Program. When you have a developer program like this, that means that you're looking at yourself much more like a platform company. You want developers building products for your platform, and that's really where Garmin could take itself to the next level. I'm going to go through a couple of things from their developer program. You can see that Garmin's APIs have a significant opportunity for your platform to become a more integral part of the user's health and wellness journey or workout experience. So basically, no matter what workout tracking tool you use, you can use your Garmin watch with that as well. There's the health API, the activity API, and then the women's health API as well. From a workout planning perspective, we now have training APIs and course APIs. This is things that Garmin will do automatically in the background. If you go for a bike ride, they will tell you, what climb did you do? Did you have a personal record on that climb? What's your average speed up that climb? So this is all information that they're gathering just from what is on your watch. So that's the fitness side. I'm gonna look at a couple of the other segments. Outdoor, this is where products, which you can see in this small little view right here, can be satellite connected. So not necessarily just like a watch, but could also be something that you're communicating with via satellite. So again, integrating technologies and other platforms, whether you're talking about LTE or satellite. So connectivity is becoming a more and more important thing, not just pulling GPS data to tell you where you are, but also connecting with the outside world. Same thing with aviation. Again, aviation is not my area of expertise, but GoPro is something that you see very, very commonly if you're in a smaller plane, and same thing in the marine device. It's a leader in that space. But here's one of the ones that caught my eye. This is the Bounce Kids Watch. Kids may not be who you naturally think of wearing Garmin watches. This is a LTE connected smartwatch. So a watch that can send voice and text without having to be connected to your phone. Most of Garmin's watches today need to be connected to your phone to do those kind of applications. But this actually has an LTE connection. You can also track where they are or look for assistance. There's more communication that happens with the watch. And so this really opens up more of the technology for Garmin within its watches. And I think this is really pointing to where the company could be going in the future. We already have things like Garmin Pay, so contactless payment systems, a little bit like what you might have with your Apple Watch if you have a device like that. And there's all kinds of other technology that's built in, whether you're talking about the sciences of movement or things like wearable maps. So again, data that is now coming to a device that's on your wrist instead of on your smartphone. What is the next step for that? Well, that's where Garmin could potentially play a very different role than what it's played in the past. Thanks to our friends at The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/ASYM for the top 10 stocks to buy right now. One of the things I talk about with investing is getting upside optionality for free. So I think you could argue that Garmin as a baseline business, just the business that we know today, could be a relatively good value. Maybe it's a little bit expensive, trading in the high 20s to maybe low 30s price to earnings multiple, depending on whether you're looking at a forward multiple or a trailing multiple. That growth rate probably isn't going to stay at 20%. Maybe it drops down into the low double digits, but it could be a really solid company to own. I think there's proven to be a really solid moat. But what's the upside potential that we could be getting for free? We've seen that this has become much more than just a GPS device. It's now a communication device. Some of their devices connect to satellites. Some of their devices connect to 4G LTE networks. There are now developer APIs. There are apps connecting to Garmin. What is the next step for this? What if this is the device that you're actually communicating with? As things like the smartphone abstract away, and we're just communicating with personal assistants through artificial intelligence, could Garmin be that device? It may seem like a long shot, but there's not that many device makers that have proven to be the kind of device that you want to wear all the time. Remember the Rabbit Pin, the Humane AI Pin? These were supposed to be artificial intelligence devices that you could just simply talk to. But why would you want to wear a pin on your shirt or even have it in your pocket? It just seems to be a poor device. And these are AI companies trying to make devices. What if we have device companies that simply integrate software through artificial intelligence and through APIs? What devices do we have on us every day? Well, there's the smartphone. Obviously, that's going to be a first place to do this. But the other device that is on me 24 hours a day, whether I am sleeping or not, is my Garmin watch. That is what makes this a potentially intriguing place for the future of technology. As they add more of these capabilities, whether it's connecting through GPS, LTE, or satellite, could they also connect to the things that matter to me most and deliver those artificial intelligence pieces of information at a moment's notice when I need them? That could be a fascinating position for Garmin to be in. They don't actually have to be the artificial intelligence company. They can just be the connected hardware device. So something to think about. Like I said, the baseline for Garmin is definitely the business that we know today. And just expanding on that current product, making those better and better year after year, I think that could be a slow and steady growth business. But what if this becomes the kind of device that we're actually communicating with because we already are wearing it all the time? That's something to think about. What do you think about the future of Garmin? What do you think about the future of Garmin as an AI company? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to Asymmetric Investing. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you here next time.